needs to be big enough to hold it out.
And this is Mackenzie learning to
We need a
knit.
bigger one.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it looks pretty neat, doesn't it?
And this is called casting, correct?
She's using the backwards loop method to cast on, did we say 10 or
No,
12
that's
stitches?
I think it's a DK way.
12
isn't it?
stitches.
How's that?
That was good.
Because this was just falling apart.
I do that one.
Yep. You're gonna knit.
Yes.
You're gonna knit it this time. On the first row, you always knit that one.
Okay, so what is this one called? The first row?
Now she's knitting her first row.
Okay.
It's good, isn't it?
I was telling her, we're gonna tell her how many carbs are in it. What if we have anything at the library? Do we do anything different over there?
Nobody's been in and said anything, I don't know. Well, they normally, don't they close at 6 on Saturday?
Yeah, probably. Isn't Santa Claus coming over here one day too?
On the 18th. He'll be here at 5 o'clock.
And pictures? Just,
Just what we take.
okay. 18th.
Yeah, Parks and Rec.
Maybe I'll bring patty cake.
Or
Let her
do
get her picture of Santa Claus. Today was at the Humane Society, had pictures with Santa, but I didn't think I could get her up there with all this on me. Hopefully by that time I'll have it all.
Yeah.
Hoping. The hardest thing I've made so far, Judy,
Mm-hmm.
has been that bag, that market bag. You had helped me a lot with that. Just doing all the taking it off and putting on those other needles and.
But you did a good job on it.
Well, yeah, but that was the hardest thing. But you were right there. Every step I had to get you to show me how to do it.
That's all right. That's what I'm for. I'm going to leave the alligator here. Remember, I should put him, drape it over this lady's head.
You want to borrow a wig to put on her head?
Yeah.
Oh, she's probably gonna hear my big voice in the background on that.
Excellent.
Those kids will say, "Who is that crazy woman in the
Let's take a
background?"
You could get all your stitches down to the
You
bottom.
should be like, I don't know.
I used to be a teacher in the
Mhm. You're good. Excellent. Let's see. Lovely. Okay. Round 2.
And then this part is something different, correct?
No, we're
No,
still
it's still
knitting.
knitting. Okay.
But we've learned the magic technique of just slipping the first stitch in
Okay.
in every subsequent row after the first row.
Okay.
Did you sit up and watch that game last night?
So
I didn't
are you
start
making
till like
12 rows
11:15.
then, or is it
Uh-huh.
longer, or
12
how-
stitches, but
Went into
it
4
will
overtimes.
probably be 150
And
rows.
they found
Oh,
them.
wow.
The UK girls,
Oh, well, I'm
Wow,
glad they won.
okay.
they
Yeah, I'm
played
way
Baylor
off.
too. And Kentucky, if they hadn't
So
messed
what we'll
around
do-
and just they had no
I mean, I'll stop until you
Fire.
get more, you know. I mean, if you're doing the same thing over and over,
Did they win?
then we'll just
No, they lost.
continue it.
That's not
And they
good.
have free throws for pitiful.
Really?
Well, that's fundamental right there. I mean, they kids learn that when they're right out of diapers, how to shoot free throws. You just stand there and do them. You
I
think
hope
they'd
you
be
have
good
good
at that.
video editing
See,
software.
that really bugs me too, when they really mess up on free throws, because that should be the first thing they
Oh,
learn.
that's
to do.
free. That's free. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a free shot. You don't have to work that hard for it. And none of them hardly can make them. Or all the big ones, you know, can't make them. Yeah, I do have 11s because I remember I took that kerchief scarf off and had to, when I bound it off, I had to use 11s.
Okay.
So I was good real.
I think it is 9s that you got the last time.
But I should use the 11s on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I would use at least a 10 and a half.
Well, I got 10 and a half.
I would think either one would be okay. Whichever one you're more comfortable using.
I don't know, but I want it to look nice.
Well, I think it's
And
gonna look
I probably
nice.
ought to use 10 and a half because I'm a loose knitter anyway.
Well, yeah. I'm a loose knitter too, so I usually use a size smaller than something calls for. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're knitting, you're knitting. And after each row, it's a good practice to stop and count your stitches. Make sure that you haven't lost any or gained any.
This is your backpack
Mm-hmm.
here.
You still on 12?
There's 13.
Did you cast on 13 to begin? Oh, you know why? Because
I
you
didn't
didn't count your
care
slip
about
knot as a stitch.
Box for
Oh.
I think she would like to give Amy a box
So you're
of
gonna have
yarn.
a scarf that's 13 stitches wide.
And with Henry
Or you can
Federer, like
start
the
again
last
if you want to.
one, she remembered
And
that.
that's okay.
So I don't know if I would be interested in doing it.
When you're all
I
done,
put mine on.
then, you know, when it's as long as you want it to be,
Put mine, oh, that's pretty too.
then you have to learn
My
how to
yarn,
bind off.
put in a ball.
So,
Put a ball.
you know, just like we had to
Okay,
cast
very
on
good.
I
stitches,
can do another
you
day.
create the
That's okay.
stitches in order to work from them.
So,
Then we
you
have to
know,
bind
maybe
them
I'll
off
go
so
back
that
and
it
say,
doesn't
yeah,
all
sure, I
come
can do that.
unraveled.
Okay. She said, well, I want to do, give her enough to do 12. Well, pick out some.
Somebody's phone's ringing.
Hi.
You know, also when you've
Yeah.
worked this,
Mhm.
when you have a few inches
You're
of
a,
Oh, no.
length of it, then
And
you should
so
look at
then-
it again and see if
She
the
said,
width is
I also
right.
want you to
Okay.
put $100
Mhm.
in
And, you know, and if you think, oh, it's too wide, oh, it's not wide enough, it's better to make that decision when you've only knit a couple of
Do you
inches
want to give me a minute?
than
Okay.
when you've
Bye-bye.
knit 3
No,
feet.
no, you just do whatever you think best, but I want it to be perfect. Well, I would really like her accent. No, you don't need to. So, that's why I did $300.
So why did you choose knitting for your project?
And I did 5 projects.
Because that was one of the first things
And
I
she
thought
lives
about
where?
doing.
She lives on
And
Camaro
I didn't think it'd be
Island
hard.
in Washington, which is right off us.
And you were
out of
right.
Seattle somehow. This is not
Yeah,
right.
for the most part.
Wait a minute.
Once you catch on, huh?
Yeah.
I've gotten good at this.
It's hard if you're just using YouTube or a book.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Me too. And I told her, I said, I really appreciate it.
Well, I'll tell you what, usually when
Letting
we,
us do it. She
when we
said,
have
oh,
this
from now on.
the first lesson, when we teach people to cast on and knit,
So have you seen it?
we spend
Yeah.
about an hour to an hour and a half on that
Packed
lesson.
it all up Thursday.
And if you go home and spend another hour and a
Because she has
half
to have it
knitting,
before the 20th.
you're gonna
That's
get
gotta be-
pretty fast.
So I said, well,
You'll
you send it to
find
the
that
lady.
by the
Since
end
she
of
wanted
your
to send it to her,
third
'cause she had
hour of
other
knitting,
stuff she sent me.
it's going really fast, and it's gonna
She wanted to
be
put it in the box.
something that you can do
So,
almost
you know,
without paying a lot of attention.
I don't want to be greedy and pick out the most expensive things we have, but, you know, I know that there's a lot of stuff we have that Amy wouldn't like, you know.
So it might seem
So,
like
you know, I
right
did
now,
several
oh
different
man,
kinds
this
of
scarf is
photos.
gonna take forever.
I did one of the Zen, I did two of the free.
Especially when you said 150 rows. It's like, oh, 148 to go.
But you'll get to where a row only takes you
I
2 minutes,
I said, I don't spend that much money.
and that means it's only about 3 hours a knitting.
You know, to buy 3 days
Which means you could have this done
yarn.
by tomorrow.
But I thought it was
It's
nice that
possible.
she wanted to do that, you know.
Oh, that's right. That's by going.
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty?
Really pretty, don't they?
Or she'll have a really short scarf.
I hope you have enough yarn. You should have enough.
I really like Malibu.
Oh, what do you do
I love that
in that case when you have to add yarn to it?
Love that. You should mess
There are a
with
lot
that.
of different
I really
techniques
like
to
that.
join the
I love
second
the
ball of
colors. Yeah,
yarn.
love the colors. Yeah, love. And sweet feet. I might like it as well as
You got this at Walmart?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you think it might not be enough, it wouldn't hurt to go get a second one, because you can
But I do
always
like
return it
Malibu.
if you don't use it.
Right.
Merino wool.
Mm-hmm.
Wool. That's a little too heavy for Florida.
I think it might be made in. Really? I'm not sure. Okay, pop one of yours out, Will. Do it.
There's a group of folks who meet at the library on Monday evenings.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you do need to join the second ball, or if you're ready to bind off on Monday, you come to the library at 5:30,
Yeah, the others are.
and if I'm not there, somebody else will be there to show you.
You want that in the middle here?
But I'm planning to be there.
Okay.
When you work in knitting and you knit every row, they call that garter
We wanted
stitch.
to make something out of that, but I never did.
So when
It's just too much
you're
to do.
working from a pattern, the pattern might say cast on 12 rows and work in garter stitch until, or cast on 12 stitches and work in garter stitch until the piece is 12 inches long, for instance. So what you're doing is working in garter stitch.
This is a little bit softer. The bamboo. Well, actually, you might like this a little better because that is so soft that it doesn't have any
Okay, let's spread out your
staying
stitches and
power,
take a
you
look.
know. So you might actually like the
What do
heavier
you think?
better. This is what Patty Boyce used on hers, was this. So
Pretty. Okay,
Here,
let's
show it
do
up,
another row.
Kens. Let me see it.
Maybe sparkly.
Mhm.
You're doing good.
everybody in your class now a scarf.
We done the moss stitch. Okay.
Hmm?
The moss stitch.
Seed stitch.
Or seed stitch.
I've made 2 or 3 of them.
Is May back?
No, she's not coming till tomorrow. I'm gonna call her and tell her to make sure she's careful. She's still in New York.
Want me to stop? Okay.